Hi, and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn. Very special episode today. We're coming from the Shelton Brothers Festival in Louisville, Kentucky. We did this a couple years back when we were in Long Beach, and it was a lot of fun, and the Sheltons have been really awesome, so I want to first say thank you to them. But then I also want to say thank you to my special guest, Tilo Jänichen. Is that right? Hi, from Ritterguts, Gose.
Yes.
How are you, man?
I'm well.
Yeah. So, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of Gose as a style, and then also the history of your brewery, the Ritterguts, how it came to be and why. So can you just give just a brief introduction to yourself and to the brewery and the style? I know that's a big first question, but a very brief overview. Why don't we talk about Gose? Can you tell me a little bit about what Gose is?
Yes, let's start with the history.
Yeah.
Gose is a very old type of beer, and it was first mentioned 1,000 years ago.
Really?
By legend.
Wow.
From the German Emperor Otto III.
Okay.
And Gose means the beer from Goslar.
Okay.
It's a short word for this. And in the Middle Ages, the Gose spread over the Harz Mountains, where Goslar is.
Okay.
And it came to Leipzig in 1738.
Okay, 1738. So it didn't start in Leipzig?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it grows in Leipzig, and it went down in Goslar. And Leipzig was known as the Gose city in the 19th century.
Okay.
We had over 80 Gose taverns only in Leipzig.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Today we have one original Gose tavern. The name is Ode Bedenken.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
And the style of beer, what are some of the characteristics of a Gose? What makes a Gose a Gose?
This is a top fermented, slightly sourish, salty tasting beer.
Yeah.
And we use top fermenting yeast. We use our own strains.
Yeah.
We could isolate it from old Gose bottles from the 40s.
Wow.
And we use our own lactobacillus strains too.
Okay.
It's a mix.
And how do you know, in terms of the history of the style, how it became salty or why salt was added to the beer? Because there is salt added to the beer, right?
Yes, we add salt to the beer, but I heard only the same history that you know, I think, that the water in the Harz Mountains was a bit salty.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just the brewing water happened to be, had some salinity to it, and they kind of like that salty, sour flavor to it.
Yeah.
And then, so Gose was going strong. Leipzig was the capital of Gose, and then started to not go so well after a little while. Can you talk about kind of the decline of the style?
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit about how it went away and?
Yes, as I said, it started in the middle of the 18th century.
Yeah.
And it became the beer of Leipzig, and there were many interruptions. The first was the wars at the beginning of the 19th century, Napoleon and so on.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And at this time there was a Gose brewery, a famous Gose brewery, in a German state named Anhalt.
Okay.
The neighbor state of Saxony.
Okay.
And the Duke of Anhalt was a fan of Gose, and he brought the Gose to Leipzig.
Okay.
And after the Napoleon Wars, there was a changing of the tax system and so on, and the Gose became very expensive.
Okay, and because of the tax changes.
The tax changes, yes. And the Gose from Anhalt, from this state, became too expensive. And so this was the reason for the foundation of our former brewery, the Ritterguts brewery. It started in 1824, after the wars and these things. and they started with Gose. And this brewery became the biggest, famous brewery until 1945, until the end of the World War II. Then the brewery were dispossessed, and all machines went to Russia or
Okay, all right.
else, yeah.
And then the style was dead, gone, went away.
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
After the war, 4 years later, a former employee of the Ritterguts Gose, the name was Wurzler, brewed Gose in a very small brewery in Leipzig.
Okay.
And very small, and this story ends in 1966, and then we had a break of 20 years.
Of no Gose in the world. The style was
Gose
dead.
was dead, yeah.
Wow.
And in 1986, the famous Gosenschenke ohne Bedenken, the last one, was reopened by a man named Lothar Goldhahn.
Okay.
And he didn't brew Gose, but he found a solution. The Gose came from East Berlin,
Okay.
but only for a couple of years, and then it was finished. And he bought an own brewery in the near of Leipzig, and brewed there for 4 years.
Wow.
And in this time, I drank my first Gose in the Gosenschenke as a student. And I said, wow,
What is this?
This is a really good beer. And as this brewery, the Löwen Brewery, had to close down, we had no Gose again.
So again, no Gose.
Then came a Gose from Bavaria as a replacement, but it was not really good.
Okay.
Yeah. And in this time I started with brewing, and especially I was interested in making Gose.
Yeah.
It was a top secret thing, and I had to research some things. And after 2 years or so, I made a Gose, and it was not bad.
Okay.
And then, by chance, I met the son of the last brewery owner of the old Ritterguts brewery in Döllnitz. The name is Adolf Gödige. And we met us sometimes, and then I said to him, yes, I want to make it in a microbrewery in Leipzig. And he said, yeah, let's make it together. And we continued the old tradition together.
Okay.
We founded a company in 1999, and then we started in a microbrewery in Leipzig. And after 1 year, it was too small for us. It grows.
Yeah.
And we changed to a family brewery in Leipzig, Bauer Brewery. It's closed now. And
So really, I mean, to a lot of Americans, I think Gose, they think of it as a very kind of new style. It's a very popular style lately, but you guys have been around for 17 years at this point, or going on 17 years. How have you seen the growth of Gose? Is it been just business as usual for you in Germany, or is it hard getting people to try this new style?
The start was a bit difficult.
Yeah.
It's not my first job. It started as my hobby. Now it's my second job.
Right.
Still my second job. I'm a tax consultant. And but it's very funny for me, and I love to make this. And as we started, we had a period of over 20 years without Gose, and it was hard to say, try this beer.
Yeah.
It was a hazy sour beer.
Yeah.
People said, oh,
This isn't beer. Yeah.
it's like a beer from the former GDR.
Yeah.
You have to drink it fast or it's bad. And this was a hard time, but we started in Leipzig with 4 restaurants, and after a year we had 20. Now we have over 120 in Leipzig and around. Only a local story.
Yeah.
And now, today, we export over 30% to USA, Scandinavia, Japan, Italy, and so on.
Wow. And you guys, up until very recently, only made the Gose.
Until this summer, yes.
And now what are you guys making?
Yes, now we started with a few specialties around the original. And the first one you could try here at the festival is a Gose Bock, a strong version of Gose. The name is BeerTemple. It means bear killer or bear slayer.
Okay.
Kills every bear and some brewer.
Yeah.
Not me. And it's a very complex beer with 6 malts, with coriander, salt, orange peel, and a bit cinnamon.
Okay. Oh,
And
cinnamon.
much love.
Yeah. You have to have the love.
Yeah.
You have to have the love. And when you have come to the United States, have you seen? Are you kind of surprised by how many people are making this style that
Yes,
just long ago?
I tried only a few American Goses. I think it's very different from our Gose style.
How have you noticed the styles? How are they different here in the States versus
More sour, more salty, more charred, or all together.
more everything? Yeah.
Yes, but it's okay. It helps the style to grow up. We are in Germany only 3 or 4 brewers that make Gose, and in the US I think over 500.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. It's wild.
5 years before, nobody knows what is Gose.
Yeah.
Never heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple years ago, it was impossible to get one in the United States. It was
Yeah.
amazing. I think you guys and maybe Bahnhof were the first that I remember being made available.
They started earlier with export. We started in 2012. The Sheltons found us.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
not our
That's awesome.
idea.
No, I'm glad that they did.
Yes.
And also, I wanted to formally congratulate you for the gold medal you guys won at
Thank
the World Beer Cup, right?
World Beer won.
Yeah.
World Beer Cup was this year a bronze medal. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And anything else that you guys have coming up in the pipeline that people maybe here in the United States could look out for? Are you going to be bottling or sending over any of the
Yes.
Doppelbock or what's it called, the Bear Slayer?
The BeerTemple in Germany. Yeah.
I'll let you say that. Yeah.
BeerTemple is available now in kegs and bottles.
Okay.
Yeah, from last week. And we will develop 2 new Gose specialties in the next year.
Okay. And one thing I would recommend to people, if you guys are a fan of some of these sour German ales, like the Berliner and the Gose, and you've had a lot of, to us, domestic versions of it, it is definitely worthwhile to go and try the classic examples of it. I think Ritterguts would certainly fall in that realm, and just, one isn't better and one isn't worse, but they certainly are different, and there's a lot of, I think, subtleties to your version that are really, really delicious. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and it's available kind of all over the country. So you guys are in a lot of states here in
Yes. The
in the
Sheltons
States. Yeah.
are very active. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time and
No
sitting
problem.
down with us here. I forgot to mention we are in the Copper and Kings distillery. So if you hear like stuff going around, and
Yeah.
we're sitting literally next to one of their stills here, which is pretty amazing. But I wanted to thank Copper and Kings for allowing us to do that as well. But most of all, I want to thank you, Tilo, for making the beer and sitting
Thank
down
you.
and talking to us about it.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time with more of the Beer Temple. Cheers.
Go Siena.
Yeah.